Greetings and welcome to another Grenfell MediaWatch update. Today's edition I want to call the numbers racket. And I want to say that because we've heard a lot about different numbers this week. So I'm going to start at the top, number one. There's been one prosecution for the Grenfell massacre so far, and that's involving the man who posted photos of beloved ones and placed them on social media. Now, he received jail time, but it really made me wonder. Do you remember when Alison Saunders, the director of the public prosecution, made a statement that there's a possibility of long prison sentences? And now what we're hearing in the media is news of up to 6 thefts and criminal prosecutions for those people, those on the lower levels of society, not those of the elite above. If they've got something like 200 officers on this case, like they claim, then why are they only finding people involved in theft? And I'm talking about low-level theft. Nah, something doesn't add up right there. Anyway, that's number one. So the second number for this week is probably not a number, it's actually more a formula. It's less than 80, an expression. And that is the announcement that the police reckon they're going to identify most likely less than 80 as victims of the Grenfell massacre. Now this feels very much like propaganda. There's been some 67 identified bodies. And I say 67, not 66 like many are saying, because I actually count the unborn child as a sentient life, which had the right to exist, just like those children that just passed by. So I'm including that life. But there are also other tricks being played with numbers. People who have been classified as so-called suicide jumpers. I think they've been excluded from the death toll. So again, when we hear less than 80, we know that this is propaganda, and we know that some game, some trickery is taking place. So the next number is 100, and of course this is referring to the 100 days since the massacre took place, and the media had a frenzy. So whilst LBC continued with its usual shock jock approach, BBC Radio London had Vanessa Feltz broadcasting from outside the Methodist Church, and whilst it wasn't the pinnacle of investigative journalism, it was sensitive, it was useful. So when I think of 100, I think it's taken 100 days to house 5 families. So I want to crunch the numbers Dragon's Den style. Let's consider it. Okay, so there are 5 families, 5 that have been housed in 100 days, and there's some odd 200 families, survivors and nearby residents to be permanently rehoused. 100 divided by 5, 20. We're looking at 200, that makes it 40, so 40 units. There have been 100 days per unit, so we're looking at 4,000 days before everyone's housed. 365 days in a year, so that's 4,000 divided by 360. So we're looking at roughly, okay, I've got an offer for you. We're looking at 8 to 10 years before everyone is housed. Now with those kind of numbers, all I can say is, I'm out. So what's the next number? Well, that's 200. And there's been 200 survivors that have been treated by doctors for post-traumatic stress disorder. That makes me think about a friend of mine, Sherry from NT University, was talking about the Aberfan disaster. Now this took place 50 years ago. And again, we have decisions from those above leading to the deaths of hundreds below, denial of figures and numbers, claims for reparations being denied, and just like Hillsborough, a long fight for justice. So the next number is 266, and that's the number of houses or tower blocks over a certain height which have failed fire safety tests. And now the government are expecting families who are living in those tower blocks to wait for years for a resolution. So I'm worried that this government really isn't prepared to put its money where its mouth is, and the end result is that they're essentially waiting for another massacre to take place before they actually do something to secure the safety of all those residents living around the UK. Local authorities, if you've got the cash, act without waiting for central government. Just get on with it. And so the final number for today is 5,800. And I'm referring to the fees that were going to be charged per term at an exclusive Kensington school, which was going to be housed in the local library, which the community was actually asking to be saved. The council has actually turned around, recognised their call for reparation, and it looks like that project's going to be scrapped and the library will stay in community hands for a little while longer. But I want to close by highlighting that the space where I am at right now is kind of like the equivalent of the West Wing. And it's a place where people express themselves, express their thoughts. And I've recently been informed that someone's actually going around rubbing out comments that residents, family, supporters are leaving. Stop it. you're censoring an important voice. You're extending the pain and suffering of those who've already gone through so much. So let me close and just say, may the ancestors continue to guide and protect us. Ashe.